All right, it's a glorious morning, and this morning I'm going to paint the bus. If I was going to do a really good job of this, I guess I'd use automotive paint and a sprayer, but I'm not going to do either of those things. The problems with using a spray gun is, well, one, I just don't have one, and the other problem is we live right by the coast. The wind will always get up at some point, which means I'll get overspray everywhere.
Bedford buses were made in England, just up the road from where I grew up. I used to drive past the factory on the way to work, although it had long since stopped making buses. The chassis were shipped over to New Zealand and Australia, where their bodies were added. I love the design of these things. They seem pretty cool for a vehicle made to ferry kids to school. Ours is an SB3, a design from the late 1950s. Here are a couple of them that have been returned to their former glory. Ours, however, is a long way from that.
I've never really liked the colours on this bus. It sort of reminds me of the kind of thing that Timothy Leary and Ken Kesey would have been driving around with in the 1960s. But the other weird thing about it, other than the colour, is I've looked at some older pictures of these types of buses. This is a 1968 Bedford, and typically the roofs were white and the colour came down to this line here, not this line. I don't know why it's painted down here. So they were usually two-tone. I was originally going to see if I could match something, but kind of gave up on that idea. I didn't love those colours anyway, so I'm going to do this a kind of darker grey and this an off-white. I spent the other day sanding this down. I used about 250 grit. I just wanted to get it kind of roughed up so there's something for the new paint to adhere to. Before painting, I had to do quite a bit of patching up. So for anywhere that I've patched, I've just used little bits of aluminium, glued them on, and then riveted around the edges. Rivets work so much better than screws. This door handle was actually screwed in, and it just, you know, that the screws never hold on the metal. They just gradually work their way out. So I've put rivets back into this just to give it a bit more strength. For any small holes, I've just used this sort of two-part polymer. It's like blue tack. Get it in tubes, and you just kind of mix the two compounds together and stuff it in the holes, and then you leave it a little bit until it hardens off, and then sand back. It actually does a pretty decent job of hiding the holes. And then for bigger holes, I've just used aluminium, glue, and then rivet around the edges.
Most of the work is done before even opening a tin of paint. I power washed the entire bus, including the roof, patched the holes, sanded all the paintwork, and now I'm taping up the windows. Life's a bit like this. On the surface, people suddenly achieve greatness, but the reality is, there's a lot of prep work involved.
My wife and I were attracted to this bus because it's a bit older. It's 1960s and it's curved, whereas most 80s and 90s buses, they're very boxy looking. But and they're cheaper too, actually, so it's sort of, you know, you pay extra for this. But although it looks cool, it's actually really annoying to work with. I mean, just taping these windows up that are really curved is a bit tricky. It'd be a lot easier if they were just squares.
I love DIY. It sounds like a dated concept now, something people did badly in the 1980s. But I think to do it yourself is great. I love everything about it. I love to be self-reliant. I don't want another person to have to come in and do things for me, and I don't want to pay for it. I want to figure out how stuff works. I want to fix things. I want to design and make the little world around us. Whether it's carpentry, metalwork or plumbing, I want to do it all for myself. Painting, however, can do one. I hate it. Using the roller isn't too bad, but to get into all the little nooks and crannies, I needed to use a 1-inch brush. This is where a sprayer would really come into its own. Well, I made my choice not to use one, so all I can do is put on some tunes and get into it.
I was watching Touching the Void the other night again, and you know there's that bit in it when the guy, he's like coming down the mountain and his leg's all messed up and he's trying to get down to the bottom. And so he sort of breaks it down into these little parts and goes, oh, if I can get to that rock over there in like 20 minutes, you know, and he'd be really happy if he made it in 20 minutes. And if he failed, he said he's almost in tears. And, you know, I think it's kind of a good way to look at a lot of projects, especially boring ones. You know, I like to break them into little bits. And so my first stage with this, I just think first coat, just get some paint on the bus. That's all you got to do, is just get a bit of paint on the bus. And it kind of looks a bit messy. And then the second coat, it gets a little bit better, and it just kind of gradually starts improving.
2 foot up a ladder, and I'm comparing myself to the most hardened climbers in the history of mountaineering. But the analogy does ring true. Beginning a life like this, living off the grid in a bus, there's always a mountain of jobs to do. It's easy to get overwhelmed. The way I approach it is, each week I give myself a task, something achievable in that time frame, and everything else can wait. This isn't a sprint to the finish line. I want to enjoy this journey. The day there are no jobs left to do on this land will be a sad day for me. With each task completed, there's a little upgrade to our life, and it's these things that give me a massive amount of joy.
I've always liked the design of this bus. There's something really cool about it, the shapes, the kind of windows, the curves, but that old paint job, it just didn't do it any favours. And I feel now it's starting to look really good. It's kind of a lot closer to how it once would have looked. It's good, man. I'm pretty happy about it. So that's it. The bus is painted. I think it looks pretty good. I mean, I suppose it would have been a bit better if I'd have sprayed it. Probably would have given a more professional finish, and it probably would have been a bit quicker too, I guess. But it's just not worth it up here. There's too much wind. I'd have got overspray all over the deck. Yeah, it would have been a nightmare. So for the situation that I've got, I'm happy with that. It's good enough. It's good enough for me. So I think I'll leave it for this week. Thank you so much for watching. See you next week.